Hey guys, how's it going? This is Robbie1 Kenobi, and I'm here to to accept my good Twitter buddy, Breather35's challenge for Pro Wrestling Tag Challenge 2.0. This is basically a follow-up to the other two fan interactive challenges that have been going around YouTube. Basically, it's the same structure, same format. I answer 10 questions, and then at the end, I nominate 3 people. So shout out to you, Bretho, once again for nominating me for this challenge. I love interactive fan challenges like this. Um, I originally thought that this was actually Bretho's challenge. I thought he came up with this one as well because he's a very creative YouTube user. But this is actually a challenge created by a user named Mildly Moderate Red. He challenged Bretha, and then Bretha challenged me and everybody else that watched the video. So of course I'm here to accept that challenge. Let's get right down to it. Questions are right here on the back actually of the sheet that I had the previous questions on from the last 2 challenges. So without any further ado, all right, question 1: favorite wrestling t-shirt? NWO Wolfpack. I know that it's basically the original NWO Hollywood shirt with just the letters in red, but I mean, as a kid growing watching wrestling, um, in the 90s, the Wolfpack, they really stood out to me. I just really like the Wolfpack more than the original NWO black and white. I did like the color scheme of black and red. And there was a Wolfpack shirt that came out, I believe, with the same design and had a wolf on the back. So I honestly just thought the Wolfpack had a really cool shirt. That's definitely my favorite shirt of all time as of now. I mean, unless another really cool shirt comes out. No, yeah, for sure, the NWO Wolfpack shirt is my favorite shirt of all time. But there are other shirts that I've really liked over the years. Austin 316, of course, is legendary. And then there was Owen 316, I Just Broke Your Neck, which is very clever when that came out. There's also the Stone Cold one where he's doing his pose and his arms are like rattlesnakes. That always stood out to me. That one was really cool. Um, the original DX shirt, with 2 words sucking on the back, that's classic. Um, and then there was the DX jersey. Well, that's not really a shirt, but the DX jerseys that came out back in '99 were really cool. So yeah, the NWO Wolfpack is my favorite shirt of all time. But my favorite current shirt is the Kevin Owens Fight shirt. The one I showed you in my unbagging video with the red, white, and blue. That one's my favorite. I just really love the color scheme of that one too. It's a real nice shirt. But like I said, favorite of all time would be NWO Wolfpack. Dream Feud. Like Bretha, I do have many dream feuds in my mind. Sting and Undertaker, of course, everybody would love to see that. So would I. Um, Seth Rollins and Cesaro, I think they'd have an incredible feud if it goes the rest of the year, if booked right. I know they've wrestled a couple times on TV recently, but I think a Cesaro Seth Rollins feud for the title would be amazing. Um, and then like dream wise, in terms of dream feuds, um, Kurt Angle Ken Shamrock feud would be awesome. Chris Jericho Owen Hart, if Owen was still alive, I think that would have been an amazing feud. Two renowned Canadian performers. But my current dream feud, the feud that always like really gets me excited, I mark out sometimes when I think about it because it can happen when you think about it. Because all WWE has to do, they already have one talent. If they sign the other talent in this feud, I mean that'd be amazing. And that would be Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. 2 decorated superstars who really made names for himself in Japan, including AJ, in New Japan Pro Wrestling recently, he's been making a name for himself. Finn Balor made Japan like a second home to him, and he even won the NXT Championship there recently. I mean, they're just two awesome performers. They are just incredible athletes, and to see them wrestle, to see them in a dream feud, because I don't think AJ and Balor have ever feuded with each other. So if they were to feud, that would be incredible. And the greatest way to ultimately um, bring that feud to an end, or the best culmination for that feud would be AJ Styles versus Finn Balor in Japan, the country where they really made a name for themselves. I mean, that right there would be a blockbuster main event. I would love to see it. I mean, WWE, if they sign AJ Styles and have him and Balor battle it out on NXT, they could do like another Beast in the East kind of special, or the Demon in Tokyo, whatever, and then have Balor and AJ go out there in the main event and just freaking steal the show. That would be incredible. That would just be amazing to see. AJ Styles and Finn Balor is my dream feud. Next wrestler who deserves a push. Definitely Cesaro, especially with the way he's been booked recently. I think he's going to be the next guy to receive a push. Of course, I believe Dean Ambrose deserves a push. Rusev deserves another push, especially toward the main event spot. Ryback, I believe, deserves a push after his Intercontinental title reign. Roman Reigns deserves a main event push, and I believe he's getting bread for that right now. Although they tried that earlier, earlier in this year. Bray Wyatt definitely deserves a push, a real well-deserved career-redeeming push, career-rejuvenating kind of push. But Cesaro is definitely the one I see receiving a big push next. Wrestling promotion you want to watch more of, ROH. Because I stay up to date with Lucha Underground and NXT, but I really want to start watching ROH. I know ROH is a one of the hottest independent wrestling promotions out there, and now that it's on Destination America, definitely want to tune in every Wednesday and keep up to date and just introduce myself to some new exciting independent talent. Did CM Punk's interview make you respect him more? Not necessarily, but I do respect the reasons he gave as to why he left the WWE. That podcast he did with Cole Cabana was very raw, in my opinion, because I felt like you could not make up a lot of what CM Punk was talking about. The shit he endured from 2011 until early 2014, I just felt like you could not make that up. I felt like a lot of what he was saying was coming from the heart. There's a lot of pent-up frustration that he was just finally looking forward to just getting off his chest and everything. I respect Punk for what he's achieved as a wrestler and for what he stands for. The podcast didn't necessarily make me respect him more, but I do respect the reasons he gave as to why he left and why he was fed up with the company. And I respect Punk for the performer that he is. He's one of a kind, and he's not the typical WWE wrestler. He's his own wrestler. He's his own person. And that's something that I always respect CM Punk for. That he's not afraid to speak his mind. He's one of a kind. So the podcast didn't make me necessarily respect him more, but I do respect him for what he's achieved, for who he is, and I do respect the reasons why he left WWE. Favorite wrestling theme song? Finn Balor's "Catch Your Breath." I mean, I love that music. It's very fitting of Finn. I listen to it late night at work sometimes, and it gets me pumped. I have many, many favorite theme songs, but I mean, Finn's is definitely my favorite. Just because, like I said, it's very fitting of him. His character is an enigma that's got a demon within that he'll unleash every once in a while. It's just very fitting of Finn Balor. It's awesome. I love that theme song. It's just amazing. It gets me pumped whenever I listen to it, and like I said, it's very fitting of Finn Balor. 3 independent wrestlers you want to see in NXT. Definitely Moose from ROH because he has that big man look that WWE that could capitalize on. Moose is a real cool talent. I've only seen a few of his matches, but I like his look, and I think Moose would be a great talent in NXT. Second would definitely be AJ Styles, no questions asked. And then third, you know what? This guy has wrestled for AAA. He's made a name for himself in AAA. I don't know if AAA is necessarily considered independent, but I think he'd make an incredible addition to NXT. And he is personally one of my favorites on Lucha Underground. That's Pentagon Jr. If you've seen him on Lucha Underground, you know this guy's a badass. This guy is one you do not want to piss off. And Pentagon is just an awesome talent. I think he definitely would make an incredible addition to NXT. So Moose, AJ Styles, and Pentagon Jr. are my 3 picks for indie stars that I would like to see eventually sign to NXT. Were you ever a fan of TNA? I wasn't a fan, but I did watch TNA from like 2008 to 2010. The thing is, I could never really call myself a fan because I never really got into TNA. Like I got into WWE, like I get into NXT, like how I got into Lucha Underground. Um, I was a fan of AJ Styles, and also Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Velvet Sky and Angelina Love, the beautiful people, Taylor Wilde, Sarita, Rosita, um, and Mex Mexican Mexican America, yeah, I believe that was the faction's name. Salinas, who was, who's Shelly Martinez. Um, who else stood out to me in TNA? Yeah, to basically answer the question, I did watch TNA from 2008 to 2010, but I was never really a fan of it. I couldn't really call myself a fan because I never bought DVDs, never ordered um, the pay-per-views. I did watch it, but I can't really call myself a TNA fan, and I never really was a TNA fan. I would just watch it. I'm a loyal WWE fan, but I did watch TNA. I did appreciate the good matches they did have when I watched it, but just was never really a fan of TNA. Will Daniel Bryan retire due to injury in the next 2 years? Maybe. I can't answer that question. If he gets injured again, then maybe. But I'm not Daniel Bryan. Only Daniel Bryan can make that decision. I personally hope he can wrestle for another 2 years because Daniel Bryan's an incredible talent. He's one of the best wrestlers on the main roster. But it's unfortunate that for 2 WrestleManias in a row, after he's had an incredible victory, whether it was for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship or the Intercontinental Championship, he's gotten injured and he's had to forfeit those belts. So, if he gets injured again, he'll probably retire. And I heard in Britha's video that guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin are trying to encourage Daniel Bryan, urge him to change his style up a little bit so he doesn't get injured. But my personal opinion is, I don't know. Maybe he will retire if he gets injured one more time. But ultimately, Daniel Bryan is the one that'll make that decision. So I hope to see Daniel Bryan wrestle again for another 2 years at least, but we'll see what happens. And last question, will WWE ever do a co-promotion show with ROH, New Japan Pro Wrestling, or any other promotion? For now, as long as Vince is in charge of the company, I don't think it's going to happen. I wouldn't get my hopes up high because I don't see Vince necessarily reaching out to another rival organization, so to speak, and trying to do business with them. I mean, Britha put it a real good way in his video. The WWE is like the Nike brand. They're the major wrestling promotion. They're the money makers, here in the United States, all over the world. So I don't know if Vince would really want to put his Nike brand, align his Nike brand, do a co-promotion with some other brand that's not doing as well or is not on the level as WWE. Not to disrespect any of those brands, because those brands have great talent and put on great wrestling. Now, when Triple H takes over, I could see it happening because Triple H knows what's best for business, no pun intended, but he can see the value in attracting not only WWE's major wrestling fans, but also major wrestling fans of ROH's fans and New Japan Pro Wrestling's fans, and even Lucha Underground's fans if they want to do something with Lucha Underground. I could see Triple H reaching out to those organizations, respective fans, and putting something together. What a great way to bring together the Nike brand. What better way to bring together WWE with another up and coming independent promotion that's looking to make a name for themselves. What great exposure that would be for both brands, especially a brand like ROH and New Japan Pro Wrestling or Lucha Underground. So with Vince in charge, for now, I don't see it happening. I don't think it will happen. But when Triple H eventually takes over, I can see it happening. Because like I said, he knows what's best for business. So that's it, guys. I have once again answered another fan challenge. Thank you once again, Britha, for the shout out, and I enjoyed your video, man. Great work. So now it's time to nominate 4 people this time. And I know I nominated 4 people last time, but I'm just gonna nominate 4 people again. So I nominate Vince Martinez, Definitely got to nominate him. One of my latest Twitter followers. Good guy, makes great videos. Miss WWE Fan 13, Zach Brown 19, and the WWE Shock Champ himself, Brandon Hodge. So you four have been nominated. I hope you accept my challenge. And thank you guys once again for watching this video. Thank you as always for watching my videos. So click the subscribe button if you want to see more of my content. Leave your comments down below. And I will see you guys later. And who knows, maybe I'll come up with my own pro wrestling tag challenge, 2.5 or 3.0, because these seem to be coming out every week now. But I'm always up for a good fan interaction challenge. So thank you again, Breather, for the shout out. And once again, guys, thank you all for watching. Have a nice evening, and I'll catch you guys later.